So let's talk about the 13 top sources of calories in the US. Okay, number one, grain-based desserts, as in cakes, cookies, donuts. That's number one. Number two, bread. 3, chicken. But most of this chicken is not going to be organic. It's going to be probably fried chicken. Okay, 4, soda with high fructose corn syrup. Energy drinks filled with tons of sugar. And sports drinks, which are really sugar drinks. 5, pizza. 6, pasta and pasta dishes. Number 7, Mexican dishes. Burritos, tacos, things like that. 8, beef dishes. 9, dairy desserts. We're talking about ice cream, things like that. 10, burgers, of course, with the bun, right? And don't forget the ketchup. 11, regular cheese, like in Velveeta cheese. 12, potato and corn chips. And 13, alcohol. Now, what's going to happen when a person starts consuming this? They're going to start getting tired because the massive amounts of sugar and insulin going on. They're going to have swollen eyes, a lot of fluid retention, especially in their feet, eventually high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome. They're going to definitely crave carbs. They're going to be hungry all the time because the amount of insulin pushes the blood sugars down. They're going to probably be grouchy, irritable, and they're going to have a belly. And speaking from personal experience, this pretty much was my diet before I was 28 years old. Okay, so I lived on these foods. Ton of sodium, lots of MSG, very little potassium, very little B vitamins, a lot of refined foods. Of course, if you were to tell me this back when I was in my 20s, I wouldn't listen to you because I didn't have very many health problems until a little bit later. So what should we eat? Pasture-raised eggs, okay, organic eggs. Fish, seafood, sardines, avocados, greens, salads, and veggies. Grass-fed meats, dairy, including grass-fed butter. Olives and olive oil, nuts, and berries. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is that when you make this transition, it's not as painful as you think. I do know, though, when I was in college, I would go to the grocery store with the intention of buying these foods right here. Okay? And sometimes I would buy them. They would sit in the refrigerator. I would never eat them. And of course, I ended up driving home with Doritos, with a huge bag of Doritos, and I would down the whole thing. I mean, one serving size, I think, of Doritos gave you 250 milligrams of sodium, and there was like, I don't know how many, like maybe 20 serving size. I would down the whole thing in one sitting, okay? So I had a massive amount of sodium going on and a massive deficiency of potassium. I had zero information on health. I had to go through a lot of health problems before I finally did it 100%. For those of you that are watching that might have a similar consideration, just realize that a lot of these, like even pizza, you can make a pizza that tastes very similar to the pizza that you're consuming. I said similar, not identical, and be very satisfied with it and not have the bad stuff. So there's recipes for that. I'll put them in the description down below. Same thing with the pasta, the same thing with this. Pretty much every single thing you see up here can be consumed as an alternative food or dessert to give you the same pleasure so you can make the transition and not make the mistakes that I made. Thanks for watching. So if you want to get notified with all my content, click the notification bell next to subscribed.